Hello everyone! What does the average girl do when her boyfriend breaks up with her? That's right. She has a marathon of her favorite Bridget Jones movies and eats buckets of ice cream. Amanda, however, is no ordinary girl. She's going through a breakup in a very original way and has no idea how it will end. Amanda lives in Santiago, the capital of Chile. She has everything one would need for a happy life: a prestigious job as an architect, a passionate boyfriend, Pablo, and a stunning appearance. One day, however, everything begins to fall apart. First, Amanda's told by her boss that she's being too cocky with her clients. Then, the man she loves breaks her heart. The guy accidentally presses the phone call button right in the middle of a date with his lover, who is also Amanda's best friend. But Amanda's not the kind of girl who will let something like this go and cry her eyes out. Instead, armed with a rifle, she shows up on the doorstep of the apartment where her boyfriend is having fun with his lover. The guy starts talking nonsense about how she's got it all wrong, but it's too late to stop Amanda.
Creo que todavía le falta un último detalle.
The girl shoots, but does not kill her boyfriend. The next day, she sees a psychiatrist. According to Amanda, she just wanted to scare Pablo and has no remorse at all. The psychiatrist is stunned that Amanda's talking about it so casually, but eventually lets her go. Afterwards, the girl goes to her boss to complain about how mean her ex-boyfriend was. The boss gives her the disappointing news. Because of the shooting incident and recent problems with clients, the board of directors has decided to fire her. Devastated by everything and everyone, Amanda moves to the small coastal town of Valparaiso. The first thing she does there is go to church and meet a priest named Juan.
Condes.
Del amor, los hombres.
Then Amanda rents an entire house, where she plans to live alone for a few months. Once she's settled in, she calls the first job ad she comes across and arranges to meet with an architect, and then goes on a holiday shopping trip. However, it's not short dresses and jewelry in her bags, but a fat woman's costume, a lot of makeup, false teeth, and a wig. The girl decides that she will not waste her time on either men or relationships anymore, and the new image will help her do that. The architect Amanda spoke to on the phone calls her to a business meeting. At first, he's a little shocked by the applicant's appearance, but quickly forgets about that after looking at her portfolio. Mr. Lopez says he would happily hire Amanda, but he can't pay her much. So she lies that she doesn't need money at all, especially since her husband helps her.
Casada. Qué bien. ¿Con hijos?
Dos.
The very next day, Amanda walks into the office. There, she's introduced to 3 future colleagues. The modest family man, Guillermo, who's expecting the birth of his 4th child. The ambitious beauty, Karen, and the womanizer, Marcelo. Marcelo and Amanda's first meeting does not go well, despite the fact that the guy gives his new colleague a flower to celebrate their acquaintance. The girl immediately recognizes him as a type of self-righteous macho guy like her ex. Marcelo, on the other hand, is shocked by her unattractive appearance and thinks about her terrible haircut and bite for the entire time. Lopez gathers the staff for a meeting and tells Amanda that they urgently need her advice on an issue. Guillermo and Marcelo have designed a remodeling of a building for a certain company, but for some reason the internet there keeps failing. Amanda immediately suggests solutions, and this makes Karen very angry.
Llámenla a nuestra experta en este caso.
Guillermo, Marcelo, and Amanda go into town to investigate the problem. While the girl explores the building's surroundings, the guys talk about vulgarities. Marcelo tells his colleague that nothing in life is more important than sex, and that love is just a cover. Guillermo listens to him with his mouth open and laughs at every joke, when all of a sudden their conversation is interrupted by Amanda. She has already solved the problem. It turns out that the underground water supply runs through both the ill-fated building and the train station, and since the water conducts electricity, the network is jammed every time a train departs. Her colleagues are shocked by Amanda's abilities, and when she invites them to test her theory in practice, they silently obey. Guillermo stays at the station to relay information about train departures to his colleagues. Marcelo goes with Amanda. She orders him to monitor the signal readings on a computer, while she goes deep into the basement to check on equipment. On her way, she can't squeeze through one of the doors and removes the fake outfit. When Marcelo goes to check on her, he almost catches Amanda red-handed, but she gets away with it.
¿Te puedes dar vuelta, por favor? Me tuve que quitar la ropa para no ensuciarla.
On the way back, Guillermo asks Amanda about her family, and the girl lies that her husband owns a huge company with branches all over the country and is constantly on business trips. Then Guillermo suggests celebrating the good day of work in a bar. The trio goes out for a beer. Marcelo makes stupid high school level jokes about women all night, and Guillermo leaves early. It's time to bathe his children. Amanda and the hated lady killer are left alone. Marcelo immediately begins to whine about what a loser Guillermo is, stuck at home with his wife and children, tired and unhappy. Then Amanda asks him what he thinks real happiness is. Marcelo confesses to her his wet dreams about sleeping with a new woman every day, all of them with model-like bodies.
¿Y no te interesa crear verdaderos lazos de amistad, de confianza con esas mujeres?
In the heat of the conversation, Marcelo doesn't notice how he insults Amanda, saying that it is pity to waste his time on people like her. The girl responds with equanimity. She assures Marcelo that he will soon fall in love for real, and then live in a nice house with a dog, a wife, and 4 children, just like Guillermo, whom he mocks. Marcelo makes fun of her and says that it's impossible. Amanda returns home and washes off her makeup, remembering Marcelo's hurtful words. She decides to go to the nightclub the guy mentioned in the conversation and meet him in her real appearance. He immediately pays attention to the beautiful girl and pulls her from another guy. They get a private moment on the couch. It doesn't take long after Marcelo hints that it might be a good idea to move to a more quiet place. Amanda asks him directly what he expects, and the guy starts to make ridiculous excuses, saying that he didn't mean what she thought. Amanda, on the other hand, plays out a scene of frustration and says that she's only ready to be close with him some other time.
Espera, no sé cómo te llamas.
Elena.
Mi tarjeta.
The next night, Marcelo goes to the club again and waits for Helena. However, he gets a message from the girl that they can only see each other tomorrow. Marcelo walks around the office all moody and distant. Amanda notices this and asks him how his date with the hottie he bragged about the day before went. The guy gets enthusiastic and begins to make up a story about how his new acquaintance is crazy about him. But he has so far decided not to reciprocate and tease her. In the evening, Helena does not come again and offers to have dinner at his house the next day.
No, pero hoy sí. Hoy viene a casa. Y ahí sí. Le voy a dar su merecido. Y después, que pase la que sí.
Marcelo prepares for Helena's arrival. He buys Chinese food from a restaurant but makes it look like he cooked it himself in the kitchen. When the girl finally shows up on the doorstep, he starts to tell her how much he works with his hands and loves to cook. On the couch, Marcelo continues to ramble on about his trips to other countries and exotic hobbies. Soon, he moves on to a decisive action and begins kissing Helena's hand. She plays along, but at one point eventually interrupts Marcelo. She tells the disappointed guy that she has to get up early in the morning and leaves. Once at the office, Marcelo again lies to Amanda that the date was perfect, but finally he can't bear it anymore and tells the truth. Marcelo asks the colleague for woman advice, and she gladly gives it. All while jealous Karen, who used to date Marcelo a long time ago, is watching.
Tienes que dejar de pensar en la mujer como si fuera un pedazo de carne asada.
After work, Amanda walks home and meets Karen on the way. She sneers and asks when they will finally see Amanda's family. Amanda lies that her husband is on a business trip again and the children are with the nanny. However, her suspicions scare her, and she goes to the priest Juan to ask him for a favor, to let her borrow his children away for a couple of hours. The next day, the girl shows up with the boys at work. Karen can't believe that all of Amanda's tales of marital happiness are true, and she can hardly hide her resentment towards the kids. Marcelo, on the other hand, immediately gets on well with them, which pleases Amanda. Later, Marcelo enthusiastically prepares for yet another date. This time he buys flowers and tries to create a romantic atmosphere at home, but not everything goes according to plan. From the very threshold, Helena starts sneezing terribly because of her allergy to flowers. However, Marcelo does not give up and feeds her not only pizza, but also exquisite compliments. The guy gives out one poetic phrase after another, but Helena quickly yields. She calls him into the bedroom, and they move on to the most important part of the evening. However, a couple of hours pass and Marcelo is still not getting anywhere. He begs Helena to forgive him and swears that this has never happened to him before, but Helena is angry.
Estabas en otro lado, ¿en qué estabas pensando?
Marcelo slips up and says that a colleague from work has been on his mind all the time. He immediately realizes that he said something wrong and hurries to explain himself, but the girl is disappointed and leaves. At work, Marcelo immediately confesses everything to Amanda, no longer even trying to come up with a better version of events. Besides, he honestly admits that while he was kissing Helena, he was thinking about Amanda, and it distracted him. Amanda's shocked by this frankness. The guy hastens to explain that it's her kids that got him thinking about family. Then Amanda suggests that Marcelo do something special for Helena. For example, he can cook another dinner, only more exquisite. Marcelo is thrilled with the idea and invites the colleague to his house to teach him how to cook. They have a great time. Later, they sit on the roof and Marcelo admits that this is the first time a woman has come to his house as a friend. They talk about family, and Amanda casually comments that Marcelo is just afraid of commitment. He initially brushes these words aside, but then thinks about it more deeply.
Tienes miedo.
Marcelo immediately apologizes for this and pretends that nothing happened. Later, Helena texts him that she's ready to come to him for dinner, but wants to play a secret mystery game. It turns out that the game is for Marcelo to dress up as a woman and dance in front of her. The guy obediently agrees, then sits closer to Helena and confesses his feelings to her. She doesn't believe him and decides that he just wants to get more intimate with her again. Marcelo assures her that he is more serious than ever and has changed a lot lately. Then Helena softens and calls him into the bedroom. In bed, Marcelo keeps saying how special Helena is, and that all this is not a game to him at all. For some reason, this makes the girl more angry. She tells him to lie on his back and pulls out the handcuffs.
¿Sabes que no estoy familiarizado con esto del sadomasoquismo, pero...
No.
All of a sudden, Helena pulls a knife from her purse. She asks, does Marcelo really think she's so stupid that she would believe his cynical words about eternal love? She says that she's already fallen for it and it will never happen again. She adds that she wants to teach Marcelo a lesson and stabs him in the stomach. Later, she calls a reporter and leaves. The police arrive on the scene. They bring Marcelo to his senses with ammonia and explain that the knife was not real. At first, the guy doesn't believe it because he saw blood on his body. But...
Ketchup. No! No!
At the office, Amanda learns from Karen that Marcelo is in trouble and his face is now on the front page of the local paper. But when Amanda tries to talk to Marcelo and confess in everything, the guy acts detached and all of a sudden leaves for lunch with Karen. They spend the rest of the day walking together around town. At first, Marcelo pushes the woman away, but eventually gives in and invites her to spend the night, and Karen stays there for the next few days. After a while, someone calls at Amanda's house. Through the window, she sees that it's Marcelo. The girl is terribly frightened because she has no makeup or costume, so she talks to her colleague through the door. He is unusually sentimental. He says that Amanda is his only and best friend. Marcelo admits that he envies Amanda's husband for how lucky he is to have a life partner.
Estoy enamorado de vos.
Marcelo says that he's finally managed to see her inner beauty and to appreciate the outer beauty as well. He apologizes for his boldness and asks Amanda not to be angry with him, and then declares out of the blue that he's come for a blessing. The man has decided to marry Karen because he's thought long and hard about family and commitment. Now he finally feels he's ready. Amanda's completely shocked by the news, starts crying and doesn't answer. Marcelo leaves. Distraught, Amanda goes to the church again and tells the priest, Juan, that Marcelo cannot be trusted, but he does not agree with her. In his opinion, Marcelo, on the contrary, truly loves her because he has seen all sides of her character. The guests gather for the wedding. Before entering the church, Amanda fixes her friend's suit and gives him a hug. During the ceremony, the boss Lopez leads Karen down the aisle, with Amanda standing on her right hand as her maid of honor. As the priest begins reading the words of love between the bride and groom, Marcelo keeps looking at his girlfriend, and she smiles at him. It's as if she wants to say something but holds back. And when the priest asks Marcelo if he's ready to marry Karen, there is silence in the hall. And then... Marcelo looks questioningly at his friend, and when she shows her real smile, he realizes. He walks over to Amanda and removes her wig. They look at each other in silence. Several years pass. Marcelo is driving through the park with his dog and 3 children. Amanda's waiting for him on a bench, and we see that she is pregnant with her 4th. Have you ever found out that a loved one has been keeping a huge part of their life secret from you? Share your stories in the comments. Who knows? Maybe they are worth a screen adaptation and a separate retelling on this channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video.